Adventure Alaskan podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. I was out in the woods today doing exercising my normal incompetence when it comes to grouse hunting. Last week I found a grouse, shot and missed it, and then this week went to the same spots and haven't been able to find anything. Been hearing some, but haven't been able to find them. So my normal procedure when I'm out in the woods is sort of I get column ideas, and I get feature ideas, and I get podcast ideas, and I try to refine them in my head, and then when I get home, kind of write them down. But I thought, hey, why don't I just sit down by the creek here and try to record what's going on in my brain at that point? So it's kind of a raw thing, raw recording with no guest. And in there, I mentioned a few times that if anything else occurs to me, I'm going to add more to it. I didn't, and it's not that more things didn't occur to me as I was walking, but it's about 15 minutes of just what was going on in my head with regards to things that I've been really poor at, things I've failed at, but have decided not to quit. So with that in mind, here's episode 37 from the river, a creek, somewhere in southeast Alaska, unsuccessfully hunting grouse. Here we go, as recorded on my cellular device. I'm coming to you from a creek that is on a trail or near a trail in the Ketchikan area. No grouse. Last week I heard one, shot at it, and missed, which at the time wasn't so bad because I had done enough to find it. I had listened to the hoot. I had followed the hoot. I had located the general area of the hoot. I had found the hooter, and I missed. I felt like I'd done enough things right that it was just a matter of time. This week, taking the new knowledge and the new excitement and the new focus on the shot, I have heard multiple grouse, but I have not found them. It's been raining a lot, and there's a lot of extra water flowing in the little creeks, and it kind of messes up the noise a little bit, so I haven't been able to hone in. Next time it's calm and sunny, it should be better. But it got me thinking about how I was terrible at grouse hunting, and how now I've still not killed one during this time of year, during the hooter season, when it's the males calling for their mates and calling in people with guns. But it got me thinking about, had I quit last week, or if I quit now, if I just say, no, grouse hunting's not for me. I'll do bear hunting, I'll do deer hunting, because I've kind of figured those things out. But it got me thinking about other times I almost quit. I picked up fly fishing when I was in California because it was the only way that you could pretty much hunt wherever you wanted, because regulations everywhere stipulated that you had to use single hook, it had to be barbless. Other areas it was, there were some regulations led me to making fishing a little bit more fun by trying something that was a little more difficult. So hence the fly fishing. I had an orange tree in the back of my yard at my place in California, and it was about 10 feet away, so I could almost reach out and touch it with the tip of my fly rod, but I could not get a cast to go there. I could not get a 9-foot fly rod to cast 10 feet, and it was infuriating. Then I didn't even like the casting thing, like practicing casting. Why practicing casting? Why don't you just go out there and try to catch a fish? Best case scenario when you're practicing casting is that the cast goes somewhere. This is stupid. So I started going to creeks about an hour from my house every Tuesday. Called it Trout Tuesday, and sometimes on weekends too, to try to catch a fish. And I saw a fish rising pretty close to shore, and I couldn't get the fly out there. And I was about ready to quit, and it was until I caught that first fish, I thought, this is such a cool way to catch a fish. And I could do it pretty much anywhere in California, so I will not be limited. So I think I was 25 or 26 at the time when I started fly fishing. Love it. Absolutely love it. I now fly fish almost exclusively and fish for different things. My first steelhead fishing experience was crazy. Because they're much harder to catch, and I went out many times and never caught anything. And then again thought, well, I'll just wait for the silvers to come in, or I'll catch trout. Steelhead fishing is stupid. It's cold, it's wet, and you don't catch anything. Then just one of those last trips, caught one and changed everything. So now my favorite thing to do with a fly rod is to fly fish for steelhead. And I'm not an example of anything that's great. I'm not telling these stories because you should follow me. That's ridiculous. This is the mediocre Alaskan. This is not the perfect or the alpha Alaskan. This is just a dude who has almost quit a whole bunch of things that he now loves. And the latest thing that I suck at, but am getting better at and don't want to quit is grouse hunting, because it's difficult, but it's new and it's exciting and you figure it out. I'm not sure what time or when I became tolerant of that sort of, or being okay with failure, like as a start. But really, what's the worst thing that can happen if you keep trying these things? I would have deprived myself from, what would I be doing, how would I be spending my time? Like my free time, you still have 24 hours in a day. So what would I be spending my time on? If I had quit fishing, if I had quit, what would I do? Would I watch TV? I don't know. I did CrossFit for about 2 years when I first moved back to Ketchikan. Loved it and liked it. But once I started coaching, it screwed up my schedule of going. And so I decided that the most likely time for me to be able to work out, I'd be most likely to go, and I could fit it into my schedule all year round, rather than go to CrossFit for 2 months, have 6 months or 7 months off because of basketball, and then start up again for a month or two, and then have the summer, which I'm on Prince of Wales Island and not in the gym. I'd be paying a year membership for about 4 months on the edges. Where am I most likely to get into a routine that I can work out? I'm most likely to do that right after school, right after 6th hour. Some days I don't want to do it, but it's right there. If I show up, I'm going to do it.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
So I guess I kind of quit CrossFit, but I still do the fitness thing by working out and staying in shape. Because I found something that's the most likely way to use that energy. And so when I go out, and it benefits the hunting and the fishing because I'm in shape enough to get to where I want to and do what I want to do. But it's amazing how easy it is to make excuses and to say that I'm just not that type of person. I'm not the type of person who is a hunter. I'm just not made to hunt. I wasn't made to do this. I wasn't made to. It's crazy. We are all descended from survivors. You know, if you look back in your history, in your DNA, everybody's DNA, we survived World War II and World War I and the influenza and the Black Plague. And you even go back to some sort of expansion, you know, westward expansion, eastward expansion, wherever. In your DNA is some family member who survived warring tribes or warring colonies. I can't imagine. I'm Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, and German, and some of the most hardcore historical figures are the Vikings. You know, I wonder since I'm quarter Norwegian and quarter Swedish, you know, that Scandinavia area is the Viking area. You know, if you were to look back in my family tree, there had to be some surviving going on. You know, there wasn't a question of whether or not we had to make it. There's just no choice. I think that's part of the reason why people are so passionate about hunting, or the first time they go out hunting, or the feeling they get is something they haven't felt before. And it's not the killing of the animal. It's the feeling of being able to subsist, being able to provide for oneself is such a powerful feeling. You don't have to outsource that. There used to be a time when everybody worked on a farm, right, or had to get their own food. That's in our DNA. Maybe, you know, for some of us, it may have been 2 generations ago, 3, 4, 5 generations ago, but it's still there. And to be able to do that, to know have what it takes, that's that feeling. People, it's such a difficult thing to describe, and hunters often make I don't know if it's a mistake, but by saying that it's fun, I enjoy it. It's misconstrued by people who don't hunt as enjoying the killing of an animal, as if you're going to stand over it and say, I dominated you, look at this, you're dead, you're eating grass, now you're dead. And that's kind of portrayed on some of the hunting shows like that, but the vast majority of people, the thrill of providing for yourself is still there. If you're on a trophy ranch and you're going to shoot something and a tractor's going to come pick it up and you're going to get the head for your wall and you're not going to eat any of the food, then, you know, you probably don't have the same experience. But the same thing goes for being outside and doing hikes and being able to get to the top and being not limited. That euphoria, that you just get that high of hiking that mountain and you get to the top and there's nowhere else to go. There's no more up to go. And you made it. You're the type of person who, if need be, you could do it. And that's in all of us. But some of us stop listening to it and give in to the almost quitting. And that's dangerous. I think that's really unfortunate that people buy into that lie, that they do want to be safe. They don't want to be embarrassed by being bad at things. Everyone's going to be bad at things first. That's kind of the point, right? But persevering and getting through is where the enjoyment ends up happening. No one enjoys sucking. It's awful at first. That's the point. You're not going to just start hunting and all of a sudden be great at it. Or you're not going to start fly fishing and be great at it. Certainly not. I mean, you're going to be terrible for a while, probably. If you have maybe a little bit more rhythm, then maybe that'll help. But you're going to be bad at first. I remember when I started writing, some of the stuff I look back and write, and I thought, man, I can't believe I got paid for this. But at first, sending out articles to newspapers and getting rejected, to magazines and getting rejected, because for some reason I thought one of the coolest things ever would to have a column, to where I could just kind of live the life and be paid to write about these sort of things that other people do, because I liked reading about that and then kind of applying it to myself. A buddy of mine says that he would never want to write a book because he's not arrogant enough to believe that people want to hear what he has to say. And I laugh because you kind of have to get past that. I don't think that I'm providing any sort of like self-help. I don't think that I'm more interesting than anybody else, but I do know the value of hearing other people's stories and knowing that people like you are out there. So one of the coolest things I thought was that if I, as a non-expert, as just regular dude who teaches high school English, can go outside, play, and have it paid for, was just the coolest thing. So when I wrote and started getting paid for it. That was just one of the coolest things. And to have a column that's my column was just so cool. And it gets, I still get rejected by magazines. It's still part of the process, but it's one of the things that I wanted, and I got it. And again, I don't think that I have any sort of excess of stamina, of academic or capabilities or abilities. I just think that it sounded fun, and I just wasn't quite willing to quit. I think a lot of people do quit just a little bit early and use the excuse they're not meant to do certain things. Some people have to let go of certain things because they're not, there's too much on their plate, but I think there's a lot, we can actually handle a lot more. And then looking at that, sometimes people are a lot better at things than they give themselves credit for. And it's not about the end result. It's kind of about, what you do bring to the table. Like if you're a high school basketball player and you're a terrible shooter, you can still be the most important player on the team because you play defense and rebound. Charles Barkley said that any knucklehead can score. You put up enough shots, you get the fame, you score the points, but you can be a terrible shooter and be the most important person on your team. Likewise, you can be a good shooter, but not really be a good all-around player. And I'm a good enough hunter where I can make easy shots. I have a cap of 250 yards. I'm not going to shoot anything close to that, and I really try to get it under 100 if possible, because I know my limitations. I'm not a great hunter. I'm not a great shot, but I have the enthusiasm to be out there. At the bare minimum, I have this stupid enthusiasm that takes me outside, like this grouse hunting every day in the rain. It's soaking wet. That sounds kind of fun for me. I don't know why, but it's nice. Like I'm sitting by this river. It's kind of drizzling. It's like the Southeast Alaska dry rain where it's not too annoying, but for some reason it just makes sense to me, and I like being outside, and it's very calm and very peaceful, and I like it. I'm not deterred by the rain or by the weather. So when I fish, I'm not a great fisherman either. I can catch fish. I can catch what I need. But there's people that are better than me. But it's not about your comparison. It's what value do you have, and what do you bring to the whole experience. And I have buddies that I fish with that I might be better than them, but there's a lot of buddies that I have that are better than me, and that's not the point, is being number one compared to other people. It's about what are you getting from yourself, and what type of life are you living, and how many times are you saying no to quitting so that you can take on something new and fun and exciting, and that makes you feel like you're like getting after life rather than let life just kind of happen to you. So those are the thoughts that I have here 15 minutes into to this hike. I'm going to head back home because I have not heard anything. I've heard other birds, but I have not heard any grouse. And this area is probably not very good for grouse. It doesn't have the same characteristics of the places that I've found grouse and missed them, or heard grouse and not found them. So anyway, those are the thoughts. If I have more thoughts, I will add to this as I'm heading back. It's a Sunday evening. It is in the middle of April, or the late mid part of April, if that makes any sort of sense. So that is it for now. We'll talk to you later.